Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about my crypto strategy for August 2023. Now, we all know that, I like the altcoins. Altcoins can get you 50x, 100x in some cases. But this August, I'm going to play it safe. And I'm only investing in the big daddy, which is Bitcoin. And I'm going to lay out my reasoning for, why I think that's a good idea. It's a good investment strategy and why I think next year around this time, if you don't get in now, you don't keep stacking Satoshis, you're going to be kicking yourself in the butt saying, wow, I wish I could tell my past self I should have been investing in Bitcoin. Right now, it's the only thing that makes sense to me. Obviously, there's other coins that I like, other projects that I like a lot. But right now, with Bitcoin under $30,000, it just makes sense that I'm just going to keep stacking Bitcoin until maybe it makes sense to start getting into alt. But right now, it's all about Bitcoin. So hear me out. So let's take a look at the market right now. So currently, we see here that, Bitcoin is trading sideways. We dipped under 28,000 for a bit. I believe that happened yesterday, but we're still under 30. And when I see Bitcoin under 30, I just think it's an opportunity of a lifetime that you should be stacking. Looking at ETH, my second favorite, that's about 1,800. Now, if we look at, let's take a look. XRP's down a little bit. It's calmed down. Now, let's take a look at CoinMarketCap to get a better description, better visual of what's going on in the markets here. We see that Bitcoin dominance currently is at 48.7. ETH dominance at 18.9. Market cap, crypto market cap's at 1.16 trillion, so down almost a percent. Fear and greed, we're at 51%. Now, Bitcoin, like we said, 29.1. Looking at the volume here, still 12 billion volume, circulating supply. We all know that, is not a true number. We think Bitcoin is probably south of 14 as far as circulating after lost coins and all of that. ETH, not really much movement. So the market's trading sideways. If you look at this, XRP down almost 0.5. Dogecoin down a little bit. Cardano, just a little bit of red. Nothing's really pumping right now. And hence, that's why I'm into Bitcoin. So let's take a look at that. So big news this week is that US got a downgrade with their credit rating. Instead of being AAA, which is top tier, they're not AAA, double A positive. So AA positive. And, got views from all over. Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan, everybody saying, it's ridiculous. We shouldn't it shouldn't be that concerning. But I think it should be concerning. Fitch Ratings lowered country's credit rating to AA plus from AAA, citing ballooning U.S. debt load and weakening of governance. On top of that, Fitch expects the U.S. to enter a recession later this year. So we know that, a couple of months back, Congress, they finally reached an agreement to increase the debt ceiling in the U.S. What does that mean? Basically, that meant they spent too much and they had to, increase the debt ceiling in order to pay their bills. So it's like credit card limit. You have 25 grand limit and you keep hitting that limit. And every year or every few years, you keep calling the credit card company to raise it. But your spending habits remain the same. So you have to attack the underlying behavior, which is the spending. And if you don't do that, all you're doing is just increasing debt, increasing debt, increasing debt. And because of that, people start saying, oh, I don't know if they can pay their debts because they don't seem like they have discipline or any financial knowledge. You should try to put down the budget somehow. But for some reason, this government doesn't seem to be doing that. We just keep increasing this. And, in our lifetime, I don't know if it's going to impact us that much, but our kids' lifetime, generations ahead, it may be a problem. And, it's not a good thing and whatever. So I'm going on a rant here about this, but that, and then you have inflation, although that's coming down. But at the end of the day, next year in the US and other countries, they're going to have to start turning that money printer on and they're just going to have to start doing it. And once that happens, inflation happens all over again and it devalues the fiat. That's the number one use case for Bitcoin is the store value and inflation hedge. And over time, you just see the lows getting higher. It's a higher low. So I think, this market, we saw a low of about $15,000. Next year, what the low be? Would it be 35,000, 40,000? No one knows. But I know that, and I'm going to go through this video, what some predictions are of the Bitcoin that I think is a sound investment. That's for me, in my opinion. So BRICS. I'm not the only one noticing that there's an issue with, what's going on here in the U.S. and the U.S. dollar being a reserve currency. We have BRICS. There are a series of nations thinking about coming up with an alternative currency and not using the dollar as a reserve currency. They're gathering right now in South Africa this August, and reserve currency is going to be one of the things that they want to talk about. We know China's involved. All the major nations, and basically they're citing rising interest rates and the recent debt ceiling crisis in the U.S. have raised concerns among other countries about the dollar-dominated debt and the demise of the dollar should the world's leading economy ever default. So people already, the wheels are turning. They're starting to think, hey, what can we find as an alternative? We know gold is, at one point there was a gold standard, and the U.S. got off of that. And we know other nations value gold just because of its history, and people put value on that. But what if there was something better? And right now, institutions in the world are starting to think that Bitcoin could be that digital gold, possibly. I'm not saying it can happen, but what if? What would happen to the price if this is what happened? If they use Bitcoin as the standard to their new BRICS currency, if that should ever come to fruition. Just something to think about. But the purpose of me bringing up BRICS is that, people are starting to look for an alternative to their fiat and to the global reserve currency, which is the US dollar. Now, my other thing, Coinbase came out last week and they said prior to SEC filing a lawsuit against them, they requested that they delist all cryptos on the platform except for Bitcoin. And that seems to be the trend. Every time you hear about SEC naming, these cryptos as securities, Bitcoin is always safe. They always say, okay, that's a commodity. We get that. And even, Ethereum to an extent, although the Southern District Court in New York did label Ethereum as a security. And I don't know what's going on with that. But that's the only court case that I could think of where they listed ETH as a security. But I digress. Bitcoin is the safest, and I've just listed why I think it's only going to grow. It could possibly be used as reserve currency. I'm not sure. But these are all the things that I'm thinking about and why Bitcoin under $30,000 is a sound investment. And I'm going to keep stacking my Satoshis. Also, we have big Bitcoin bull, Michael Saylor. He's just keep stacking and stacking and stacking. What does he know that other people don't know? Is he just early to the game? I mean, he made his millions just investing. I think it was Apple or PayPal. I could be wrong. You guys can correct me in the comments. But he was on it before everybody was. And look where he is now. Could Bitcoin be his next sound investment that people aren't too sure about as far as the global market goes? I'm not talking about us crypto heads, but other people. And he's getting in early, and he knows how much this is an opportunity of a lifetime. He's going all in. I think it might be. You always want to follow smart money. This guy's not an idiot, and especially investment-wise. And the way he's in headstrong into Bitcoin, other guys should probably be paying attention. I know I am. But basically, he's purchased more Bitcoin for MicroStrategy. It looks like they're trying to sell more shares in order to possibly buy even more Bitcoin than they have already. So in this article here, it talks about, everything that they've done so far. Let's see here. And Q2 of 2023, they have expanded their Bitcoin holdings, adding a total of 12,800 Bitcoins in its portfolio. The move is the largest increase in a single quarter since Q2 of 2021. The firm now holds 152,800 Bitcoins, valued at $4.5 billion. Now, to be honest, in full disclosure, I do have some MicroStrategy as well, but we're talking about August 2023. August 2023, I'm only investing in Bitcoin right now, but going forward, if you're interested in maybe a hedge, not a hedge against Bitcoin, but a proxy for Bitcoin, MicroStrategy is a good one, as well as CleanSpark. They're a Bitcoin miner. I like them as well. But MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor, they're on the Bitcoin trend, and there's no looking back for them. Also, we have the Bitcoin ETF. Bloomberg had an article out saying that the likelihood of an ETF being approved is up to 65%. 65% from 50. We know ARK Invest, we know Valkyrie, Fidelity, and obviously BlackRock. They're all involved. And what would ETF, a spot ETF that is in the US, do to the price of Bitcoin? You already know. Kathy Wood, also, she's a Bitcoin bull. Obviously, she's applying for a spot ETF. Her investment company is ARK. And this is their projection for Bitcoin by the year 2030. They have a price prediction of almost 1.5 million. So in their bear case, by 2030, Bitcoin for one Bitcoin should be 258,500. So like I said, investing in Bitcoin, just Satoshis, $50, $100, whatever you can, is currently at $29,000. If this comes true in 2030, that is $258. Think about that $50 investment or $100 investment that you made. What would it be worth then? Or let's say their base case, 682,800 in 2030. That $50 or $100 that you DCA'd in. What would that be? And best case, bull case scenarios, that is 1.5 million. 1.5 million to the current price, that's 29,000. I'm all in, man, especially for August, maybe even September. And the market's traditionally in August, September, there's a slumber, so not that much activity going on. It's the best price to be DCAing into your favorite projects, for sure. Now let's take a look at Tim Draper, who's a big Bitcoin bull. Let's see what he has to say about Bitcoin.
But it's also going to rise above fiat, and I think it's just better technology. I mean, having to have a bank and a government decide on what currency is good is not as effective as having a Bitcoin where you have a trusted third party, which is hundreds of thousands of nodes out there checking to make sure that the transaction was done properly. So I think it's just better, safer technology, and eventually the rest of the world will come on board.
Eventually, the rest of the world will come on board. Right now, we are so early. You don't know how many times I bring up Bitcoin, whether I'm at a happy hour with some colleagues or I'm at a family dinner or something like that, and a lot of people still don't know what it is and don't understand it. Just wait till people, and the price is what it is right now. It got up to 69,000. Just wait until the world, not just thinking about US, or if you're in Canada, if you're in Germany or India, the world in total realizes what Bitcoin is. What would the price be? We're so early right now. That's why I think it's a good opportunity while everyone's sleeping to just start stacking. It's an investment of a lifetime, and I think Bitcoin can definitely generate generational wealth. And, it is growing. I said we're still early, but the addresses are still growing. According to Glassnode, the total number of non-zero BTC addresses has increased by 5.42 million. 5.42 million in the past year. So it's catching on. Still early, but it's catching on, and pretty soon it'll be too late. So how much time do we have before this thing blows? We know that the Nooks bull cycle, typically and historically, after the Bitcoin halving, things start to take off. So between now and the date of April 17th, 2024 is the projected date. Now is the time to start stacking. Right now I'm stacking Bitcoin, but eventually, probably in the next couple of months, I'm going to start adding my alts, start adding to my bags. But right now it's all about Bitcoin and increasing my position in Bitcoin. So guys, tell me what you think about this. Are you into Bitcoin? And do you think it's an old relic like some people are saying? These altcoin heads, they're all about altcoins. Think Bitcoin is old, doesn't generate a lot of gains and all of that. This is true because altcoins will definitely outperform Bitcoin as far as X's go. But if we're looking about 4 years from now, 10 years from now, this is something that you probably want to hold on to, and that's what I'm doing. So guys, I hope you liked the video. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe. And I'm probably going to have a next video coming out probably Saturday or Sunday where I talk about, after August 2023, my 5 top projects that I plan to invest in for the rest of the year. So guys, take care. And until next time, thank you for spending your time with me. Hit the like if you like the video, and consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more content. Thank you. Have a good day.